Welcome everyone to my tech YouTube channel, Yasumi. Today I have the honor of getting my friend Jim Bagnola, President of the Leadership Group International and the Chairman of the Board of Leaders Romania Foundation. He's also an adjunct professor at Maharishi International University, USA. Jim, thank you for joining us. So today we'll be covering some leadership and management topics, leadership mindset, culture, how positive energy can grow, profits, and strategies anymore.
Yeah, so as I told you, so this is also will be recorded session I'll be uploading to my YouTube channel. So thank you, Jim, for accepting my invitation and actually with your busy schedule also. So I know that you are the president of the Leadership Group International, and also I checked your LinkedIn so that you are serving as the chairman of the board at Leaders Romania Foundation, and also you're a professor at Maharishi International University. So to begin today's conversation, can you briefly introduce yourself so that my audience will get to know who are you, what are you actually doing, what's your role, leadership role, and all?
Well, all those things. And then this Leadership Group International, I've been to 105 countries, including yours, Sri Lanka, with our friend Ovidiu Bujaran. Do you remember him? He introduced me to you. He's a Romanian fellow. Anyway, I am lucky enough to experience many cultures and introduce ideas that several of my business partners and I have been thinking about since college days. And those days are a long time ago for me. Not for you, but for me, many years. So I've been examining leadership for years, and we all have come up with ideas that hopefully make what is very complex simpler for us to understand. So that's a little bit about me.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
a
great.
traveler.
And insightful actually. So Jim, your journey in leadership has been nothing short of extraordinary. So can you take us back to a pivotal moment or experience that crystallized for you the stark difference between leading and managing, since we are aiming to focus on this leadership management and all?
Yes. I've done many kinds of trainings in many corporations around the world. I have offices in Romania and Japan and Cambodia, and just to name a few. But what allows me to see is that every time I enter an organization, it has a different personality. It has a different feeling. And I ask people, so what goes on around here? What's this place like? And that's the culture of the place. The culture is created by the beliefs and behaviors of people. And every time I enter one, I either get a very good feeling or a not so good feeling. And a lot of times I can measure that by the CEO or the managing partner comes in and I see how they interact with their employees. If somebody walks in and everybody becomes quiet, or they walk in and everybody's, how you doing, high-fiving and talking to them, and there's an easy flow about things, I can tell just with that grain of sand what the beach is like. And that's called the culture of the organization. And why is that important? Well, you've heard of Peter Drucker, huh? Peter Drucker is the father of all management and leadership. He He was an Austrian genius who everything that we talk about today in business and leadership and management are due to Peter Drucker. So he once said, culture eats strategy for breakfast. And what that means is, at least in English, understanding, American understanding, I'll say, is that culture is so powerful that strategy is nothing in comparison. So for instance, you have a football team, and the people get along, they like each other, they respect each other, they grow each other. This is their culture. And then they have a strategy every game, how we're going to beat that other team. Well, if they don't have the culture, the strategy makes no difference. You lose. And so lately, there have been studies on culture. So the most important one was an 11-year study. And this 11-year study showed that if people were concerned about their culture versus those who were not concerned about their culture, those who weren't concerned, over an 11-year period, their stock increased by 78%, which I thought, wow, that's great. 78% without paying attention to culture. Then I read the second layer. Those that paid attention to culture experienced a 900% increase in stock prices. 900. And so what that modern scientific piece of research did was verify what Peter Drucker said in 1960s. He passed away at age 95, but he was the genius behind all of our understanding, really. If you read just one of his books, you could see it's very valuable today as it was yesterday. So culture became interesting to me because I felt it's so different in so many places. Just walking in and just being aware, what's this like? What's this place like? And then ask some questions. Do you like your CEO? How is it working for your CEO? Be honest with me. In most places, I would say 70% will say, it's not comfortable. I don't like my manager. I don't like my supervisor. So back to what you said, is there a difference between leading and managing? Leading is person to person. Managing is position to position. My position to your position. And I treat you that way. You are lower than I am on the status pole. So I'm sorry to say you're not that interesting to me. That's position to position. Or person to person, I'm interested in you. You're brand new in our organization, and I want you to tell us what you see because you have fresh new eyes. You can see. Also, leading is we lead people and we manage things. If we have to manage people, then their productivity goes down. Our satisfaction goes down. Our sales probably go down. So the position of supervisor or CEO or any management position is very important. And in my teaching, I'm usually teaching grad students. Because grad students now, oh, you have a master's degree.
Bachelor's. Sorry.
You have one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, we want you to manage that team because you have a master's degree. They make an assumption that you'll be better at managing people because you got that degree. Well, that is, I call it a suicide. You make an assumption that it's not true. It could be true. It can be true. But I have to see for myself how you interact with your employees. See, culture means how management interacts with employees and how management and employees interact with customers, suppliers, vendors, how we interact with each other. Are we civil? Or do we have values that are extraordinary, or are they ordinary? Or are they just something that we're seeking to have but we don't have?
Got it, Jim. So, since you talked about this leadership as well as culture, leading is often likened to juggling energy, profits, and culture. So, with the industry's demand in nature, how can leaders keep their teams uh, fueled and thriving? So, especially given the high pressure nature in the industry, with different cultures, leaders have to handle this.
You know, this is what makes it difficult. What makes it simple is there's one asset that if a leader doesn't have that asset, they cannot lead. What do you think it is? What do you think it might be? So people say communication skills. I say, okay, that's something they should have. Charisma, you don't need to have that. If you have it, okay, for some people they like it, some people don't. You have to have an ability to make important decisions. Yes, that's good. That leads to this asset that I'm thinking about. I have to have good emotional intelligence. I have to have good social intelligence. Oh, yes, you do. And those could get you this one asset. And what is the asset? A follower. If nobody's following and you think you're leading, then you're only taking a walk. You're only walking. You're not. So the intricate part of this is getting people to follow you. And it changes. You know, you could be a great supervisor for a team, and then you move to another country and you have another team, same organization, but an international team, and you have to start all over again to get what is a subordinate. We need to transform them into a follower. So the first law of leadership is not how do I become a great leader? It's how do I get people to follow me? What do I have to do? So some of those things, when you look at them, what makes it that a complicated issue is we have to have emotional intelligence, social intelligence. How do I get along with people and manage our relationships? Cultural intelligence. Sri Lanka, US, India, Romania, Cambodia. How do I treat people in their culture? In the US, we have all cultures here. We have to deal with all. So a team could have 5, 6, 7 different cultures. So cultural intelligence. For instance, when I go to Japan, it's 12 o'clock at night. I just arrived. I want to take a walk. And there's still a lot of people because Japan is such a safe country. It's so safe. One of the safest in the world. But here's the light. The light is green, but there are no cars anywhere. And everybody's waiting for the red light to cross. They will not cross. The first day I was in, I crossed and they, no cars. So that's their culture. It's like Germany, same thing. US, we're jaywalking. We're crossing the road because no cars. Why am I going to stand here? But one is a tight culture, one is a loose culture. So then you have other things like moral intelligence, gender intelligence. How do I treat women? Are they equal in my eyes or something else? Generational intelligence. all the laws of leadership have to meet generational acceptance. So, for instance, millennials born around 1980 to 2000, somewhere in there. Are you a millennial? Or are you Z generation?
Yeah, 1990s.
1990s. So you're a millennial probably. And so if this doesn't meet a millennial's standard, then it's no good, because millennials are going to take over. They're taking over all the managerial positions. They even have to manage other millennials. So millennials will be the biggest amount of our employees. So you have to have generational intelligence. They need to be involved. They need to be heard. They need to be allowed to make creative decisions. Their opinions must be observed. They need to give their managers feedback, and that manager must adjust to that feedback. So we have to know what the millennials like. So there's generational intelligence. There's collective intelligence, meaning how do you manage a team? Do you have the intelligence to organize a team? So all these different kinds of intelligence are needed if I'm going to get a follower. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. As you told, also in Japan, I was also staying there. Even at 2 o'clock midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, we can go alone, even there were girls going here and there. It was one of the safest countries I also have traveled. And they have that self-discipline. Like we can't do like, if that time, even they do the things sharp at the times, like 2:29 means 29, not 2:30. That kind of a thing. We can't go for the meetings if we get late. Even for the lectures, we can't go.
In Japan?
Yeah, in Japan.
Everything is absolutely on time.
Yeah.
Everything. If you're not early, you're late.
Yeah.
Everything. Trains, meetings, everything. That's the culture. Very disciplined. Very. I forgot that you had gone to school there. Correct? You were there?
No, I got the opportunity to study in a university level, so I went to do some trainings in tech industry like Toyota, Dokoma, likewise technology trainings. And University of Communications, I was there.
Yeah, so it's a great country and completely different than Italy, where the trains don't run on time, the meetings aren't on time. You can get there late, and so what? Mexico, kind of the same way.
Also the same. So we go for the meeting. I don't like that. I believe that we should start the meetings at the time we promise and all. But in Sri Lanka, if we have the physical meetings, most of the time the other parties get delayed.
Yes, I remember.
Okay, you said you.
People were coming in at different times, and some people were there, so you have to start on time for those people.
Yeah.
But more than half of the people are on Sri Lankan time. It's about maybe half hour different.
Yeah.
In Trinidad and Tobago, where I used to live, they have Trinidadian time, which is an hour difference. It's 1 hour. In the Caribbean, it's relax. Relax yourself.
That's why
So intelligence has many different, it's like a diamond. It has many different windows that if we're not reading or learning about each one of those kinds of intelligence, we fall behind. If you decide to become a supervisor, then, or you own a company, then the first mindset, because mindset is what creates culture. So the first mindset is anyone can lead in our organization at the appropriate time. So if you and I were on a team and somebody wants to know about the economy of Sri Lanka, I would give the baton of leadership to you. You explain it to them because I'm following, you're leading, right? So this allows leading to be at every level of the organization instead of just at the top. If we just have it at the top, first of all, millennials will not like this at all. They'll go to another organization. Secondly, we're losing the intelligence, creativity, knowledge, and experience of everyone. So the first mindset is law number one. Anyone who gets followers is leading. So I have a phrase, see the need, take the lead when appropriate. So it wouldn't be appropriate for me to take the lead if somebody asked about Sri Lanka on our team. The appropriate thing is you take the lead. And that is in everything. So it could be in budget. It could be in understanding a client. The supervisor does not have to lead all the time. That's a misnomer. It's a suicide. You're making an assumption that is not true. So the supervisor or manager must know when, I call it giving the baton, like a relay race. You take it now, then the next person take it, and then somebody else take it. So it's a free-flowing experience. And what creates leadership is a leader plus follower or followers equals a power called leadership. Meaning, this is another mindset. I can't have leadership unless I have followership. I can't be a leader unless I'm a great follower when it's appropriate. Right? So in a meeting, the supervisor doesn't have to have all the answers. That's crazy. We have all this intelligence, experience, and knowledge in the room. Let's hear from you, what you think about this. And now we have multiplied our own intelligence, energy, creativity, experience by tapping into everybody else's. Make sense?
Yeah.
So there's leader followership. There's a difference between managing and leading, and then there's leadership. It contains both. When I read a book and they don't talk about followership, they're missing half of the ball game. Who would you think is more important, the leader or the follower?
Follower. The leader.
What if nobody leads?
Yeah, we need leaders.
So the answer would be, in my opinion, both. Both are important.
Yeah.
And I find leaders find it astonishing that, you know what? I never thought about the fact that I have to be a good follower in order to be a good leader. People won't follow me at the appropriate time if I don't follow them at the appropriate time.
Yeah.
So somebody has a good idea on the team, and we become a follower. That's a great idea. Tell us more about that. You take the lead on it now. So you see the mindset. The mindset guides the culture, because the mindset, whatever our mindset is, guides our own individual behavior and belief system. So if I believe anyone can lead, just as long as they have followers, then I multiply leadership. It gets distributed throughout the organization. Then it's acceptable to women. It's acceptable to millennials. It's acceptable to most cultures. Some cultures are still waiting for other people to lead, and they just want to follow because that's the way they were brought up. But it will change. As they grow, they'll want to be able to be heard and take the lead when appropriate.
Yeah. So, since you are encountering a global student body, Jim, so I must ask this question from you. So, being an adjunct professor at Maharishi International University must offer you unique insights into molding the leaders of tomorrow. So, how do you tailor your techniques to infuse both leadership and management into your students?
Well, there's something I call management malpractice. Management malpractice goes along with another phrase of mine: leadership is management of energy. So we have to find out what energizes our people and what de-energizes our people. And so what de-energizes is malpractice. So a simple example would be, I have a team and I go to lunch with the same guy on that team every day. That guy reports to me, but we're buddies. And I go every day only with him. I don't go with the other team members. I give that person jobs that everybody wants. I go out with that person to drink later on at night, in the evening. And so this is called favoritism, correct?
Yeah.
Favoritism is malpractice. Favoritism energizes one person and de-energizes 6. If I go to lunch with this person, I should take turns and go to lunch with everyone. If I go to drink with this person, I should go with a team every once in a while. Right? Because I can energize or de-energize, and then what that means is their energy creates productivity or a lack of it. They decide to use energy or not use energy during the day in everything they do. I'm going to give 100%. They're energized because I'm not using a lot of malpractice. So there are studies that show this de-energizes. This is what I call malpractice. This energizes. Just the way I talk to someone energizes them or de-energizes them. Our communication skill, social and emotional intelligence can energize yourself and others or de-energize. So in every culture, there are practices which I call malpractice, de-energizing and energizing. We have to find out what that is. So without feedback, you can't have followership. No feedback is feedback. So what managers do when they're not accepting feedback on their performance from their direct reports, they create what I call is self-seduction. They seduce themselves into thinking everything is fine. I don't hear anything from anyone. I don't take any feedback. Everything is great. Ignorance is bliss. Or I have this simple tool. It's called appreciate and improve. Every month, the people I coach, they give their employees an opportunity every month, or if they're in smaller projects, every week. What do you appreciate about how I'm managing and leading you? And what should I improve? After everybody gives their feedback, I read everything out to the whole team. And I say, this is what I'm going to do about this, this, and this. I need more information on these 3 things to make some change. Here are some things that I cannot change, but let me tell you the why. You see, if millennials, for instance, don't get the why, they get de-energized. Why am I doing this? Well, what's behind this? And the manager says, I just give that information only when needed, and you don't need it. What? I need to know the why. And now I'm energized to do the what. But you don't tell me the why. This kind of communication is malpractice. So every culture has their, and a lot of it is the same. Nobody likes to have somebody favoring one person on a team in any culture. You know, everybody's thinking, why does he go with that guy every lunchtime? Why doesn't he go with me? Why doesn't he ask me sometimes? You know, it's simple human nature. There's some human nature, and then there's some differences in the cultures, like we know are in Japan. Like, for instance, Germany is more like Japan than Japan is like China. Or like Japan is like Korea. It's more like Germany. They're very disciplined, a lot of times not smiling. I used to tell a lot of my clients in Japan, if you're happy, notify your face. Please notify your face, because they're serious, always thinking and want everything perfect. Everything should be perfect, and everything can't be perfect. Does that answer your question about the culture?
Yeah, Jim. So since you told you are getting the feedback and all, drawing from your vast consulting experience, do you see any common roadblocks in tech leadership, and what kind of effective side steps or what kind of solutions you are taking for those common leaderships, or for the leaders who are listening to this, what kind of common roadblocks they may get and how to overcome those issues?
So at MIU, Maharishi International University, I'm training the masters in computer science students. If I ask them, what courses have you had so far in managing and leading people? Zero.
What? Okay.
Yeah, 0 courses, because they're technical. So most universities focus totally on technical. So one of my coachees, I was coaching, had a master's in engineering. He's a techie boy from Spain. And he said, the interesting thing about my graduation was the eldest professor got up and he just said, what will be your biggest obstacle? This is your question. And so it was his to the students. What do you think is your biggest obstacle going forward now that you're graduating with a master's in engineering? So people were raising their hand. Budget, selling our ideas, this and that and that. And he's going, no, maybe, no. And then he said, let me tell you what it is. People. Getting along with people.
Yeah, people and culture.
It's hard. It's not easy. And it's noticing that they have not been trained at all, and they will get chosen because they have the master's degree to start managing other people and teams And most of them become totally unhappy because things are not working as easily. It would be like me trying to do something in high-tech environment. I don't know high-tech. I know high-touch. That's the people part, but I don't know high-tech. And that's the same with them. Now they get this team, which I used to work, Motorola was my client, one of my clients, and the team that they would get this fresh master's degree student, make him up, hire him or her, and make them leaders of a team. And, so they would say, Jim, you need to coach them. And I would say, what do you know about managing a team? Nothing. Only what my manager did for me. That's all I know. Oh, okay. So here's what I want you to do first day. I want you to tell the team who you work for. I said, who do I work for? Yeah, who do you work for? He said, I work for my manager. No. Your manager works for you. You work for the team.
Yeah.
Your job is to make them successful. You're the coach. You're working for them. They're not working for you. So the first thing is to let them know, here's a mindset. I'm here to serve you to make you more successful. That's my job. So right away, tell me the things you need to make you more successful. So as an example, this team told him, this brand new manager with a master's degree, when the phone rings on the line where software is being created, everybody goes to their phone because it sounds like it's their phone. And it's not their phone. It's the line next to them phone. So what we want is a light on a pole that lights up when our phone rings. That's a great idea. Well, 1 month later, I came back. They had about 21 things they gave him they needed. So we sat down for the team meeting and I said, tell me how many of the 21 things that you got done in this month. And the guy says, none. I'm too busy. I went, no, sorry. You're going to leave this meeting. You're going to go buy all what's needed to make that light up for the phone. You did not learn who you work for. See, let me ask you a question. If your supervisor asked you to do those 21 things for this month, how many would you have done? Oh, all 21. But your team, who you really work for, because you don't see your supervisor but 2% of your month. That's it, 2%. You see the team, how much? Oh yeah, 98%. You are with them. So it's the people skill. It's the ego under control. And in this case, I call it the coexistence of opposites. This is what makes leading difficult. You have to be confident, but you have to be humble.
Yeah.
So if you're not confident, people won't follow you. But if you're confident without humility, then you're arrogant. People won't follow you. Correct?
Yeah, correct, Jim.
So I made a list of some of the things like being open-minded, meaning I'm accepting your idea, but I need to be assertive about my ideas. Coexistence of opposites. Open-minded, assertive. I have to be assertive with my idea, but open-minded to you. See the coexistence of things that I need both. I can't just have one. In my interaction with people, I put down self-care along with service to others. If I only have service to others, I burn out. I have to take care of myself as well as serve my customers and my employees. My employees, if I happen to be a supervisor, they're my first line of customer. Honest, but compassionate. If I'm honest with people without compassion, it's cruel. If I said to you, Yasumi, this color is not matching your lipstick and it doesn't go together to make you beautiful. Or I can say, what do you think? What is your favorite color? And you say, the one I have on. Then I say, oh, so that's what makes you very good looking. You like this color, you wear it, everything is matching, it's beautiful. But honesty without the compassion is cruel. They're opposites. Then if you look at, you persevere, but you have to be flexible. If you're just persevering, you're inflexible, then you're rigid. So you have to have a combination of opposites, which pleases a person who's thinking, should I follow this person or not? And see, if the heart is open, then the mind is open. Mm-hmm. If I like this person, I'm more open to their ideas. I consider their ideas more relaxed and disciplined. If I just am disciplined, then it's too intense, and that's a burnout, a tractor burnout. Discipline, but I can relax. I have both. Do you see how I can't have just one aspect in my relationships? And so this is emotional and social intelligence. And it's getting the ego under control. If the ego is not under control, and you have a master's degree, and I don't need to learn or ask for feedback, I just give feedback. And I don't have lunch with these peons. They don't have master's degree. I only have lunch with master's degree people. No, it's an ego thing. People think they're their position. And when I'm speaking about this, another law, another mindset is not everybody will follow you, but you need a majority to follow you. Don't become upset or discouraged when people don't follow you. It's how many people are following you. If I have 10 people on the team and 7 people think we have a good idea here, I have a good idea, then I have 7 followers, okay. If I have 7 people against my idea, then I follow their feedback. But they have to sell me on the idea that their idea is better than this one. Sell me on the idea. So I have this phrase, in God we trust, for all others bring data. In God we trust, for all others bring data. So not everybody's going to follow our idea or us as a person. But we, as individuals, need to keep learning at all those levels of intelligence. Now Generation Alpha is coming. Yeah. Before that was Generation Z. Before that, millennials. And each one has their own flavor. So we need to read the data, the research on how do I handle these different generations? Just like cultures. You can make cultures very simple by saying one is tight, one is loose. USA, very loose. Why? We have too many cultures here.
Yeah.
Many cultures. In Germany, almost one culture. Now they have a lot of Turkish people. So now they have more than one in Germany, but still the Germans, discipline, cleanliness, like Japan. Do you remember anything that was dirty about Japan? It's clean.
Yeah, very clean and
The
neat.
cars are clean, streets are clean. They're
Yes,
always cleaning. The taxi
yeah,
drivers are shining their car up when they don't have a passenger. They're cleaning. I never saw a dirty car in Japan ever, ever.
yeah,
Even walking down the street. No, go
yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, I was just to tell, even walking down the streets, we had to wait for the traffic lights and all, so it was very clean. Even on the stations, transit, what we call that high-speed trains, Shinkansen,
Yes,
yeah, those train stations are like super
clean.
luxurious. Yeah, very clean.
Yeah, nothing like USA. It's not clean. It's we have twice the number of people, more than twice, but that's no excuse because China has many more people than the U.S., but it is also clean.
Mm.
China is very, very conscious of neat and clean. So coexistence of opposites, managing energy, um, thinking about what kind of culture do we have and how do we keep developing the culture. We have to allow people to develop themselves. The organization cannot be what the individuals are not. So if we have no training and no interest in culture, then the culture deteriorates. And all the research tells us, you want higher profit, pay attention to culture. Pay attention to mindset. You want leadership distributed throughout the organization, then you start with a leader is somebody who has followers. And the process of getting those followers is what is complex.
Yeah. So, adding to what you told, so when we are joining a company or when companies hires us, it's like said, we need to think of people and culture there.
Yes.
The skills we can develop actually even after joining with the mentorships, even from the company's perspective, the skills they need that can be given by the trainings and all. People can learn, but the soft skills we can't. Uh, that emotionally, how they handle, how they face the things, challenges, those kind of things in the personal, like people and culture basically. Since we also have to deal with many cultures, since I'm a business analysis professional, so we have different clients in different countries. So we can't take the same approach when we are doing the project with the clients, getting the requirements likewise. So with the experience and with the background research, we have to study what kind of a client is this, how their cultures, their, as you told, the punctuality, those things matters.
Think about this. One of the most important things are the values of the company because they are like the beliefs and mindset of the company.
Mm.
Unfortunately, most are aspirational, meaning they're aspiring to have those things. So each individual has to have the opportunity to gain certain things. I'll give you an example. In my case, I'm working on patience. I am not a patient person. If I want to be patient, I can pray and I can ask for, please make me patient. God says, okay, I'm going to give you every opportunity every day. I will give you 6 or 7 opportunities to practice patience. Nobody gives you this. It's not a gift. The same with leadership and leading. They're not gifts. They're something we work on. It's work. It's practice. So somebody, I think, okay, I want to be a patient person. I get in my car and I get right behind somebody who's probably elderly, going almost no miles per hour, no kilometers, slow, gradually, and all of a sudden I start to feel edgy inside, and then God says, practice patience. If you practice it enough, you will be able to be patient. But if you don't practice, it happens slowly every day, day by day. So a lot of companies that I coach, on Monday morning, they review the last week and they bring up examples of people who followed one of the values of the company. Here's how they did it with our customer. And what does that do? It brings them to the top of your awareness. This is what our company stands for. So I need to start practicing it. So I can practice something until I have it. Anything, almost anything. Now, if I have no interest in improving myself, this is a mindset. The mindset is the difference between fixed and growth. Fixed mindset is, by the time I'm 20 years old, I stop growing, my brain stops growing. What you see is what you get. I don't grow anymore. The latest research, it's called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity means you can learn all the way up until you change your address from Earth to something else. You can grow and learn. You can change your intelligence, change your interconnections of the brain at all times. So that's a mindset versus fixed. A lot of cases in Japan, they're fixed. It's like, I'm not giving you training. You should already know that. You should already be that. Now, it happens in other countries too, that it's a fixed meaning I grew up, at age 20, I stopped. My body stopped growing, my brain stopped growing, my mind stopped growing. Fixed. Or I'm open to growth, learning, improving, and practicing. What I practice, I become. So whatever you could say, I want to be a better communicator, okay? At every chance you get, then you become aware, how am I communicating with this person? Am I balanced in open-mindedness and assertiveness? Inquiry? Am I asking as much as advocating my own thinking? How can I balance inquiry and advocacy? This is communication. So I practice it. I have to ask, in this case, we only have 45 minutes, 1 hour to talk about something that took a lifetime for me to think about.
Yeah.
So I'm talking more than I'm listening. But in the end, you will ask me the questions that you want answered, and I will do my best. But can you see that the culture can be improved only if the individuals want to improve? And a lot of times, if you're joining a company, make sure that you sit with the CEO, the managing director, and ask them questions about values, culture, and see how they treat you, see what their answers are. Because a lot of times it doesn't match yours. And you're not going to be happy at that place. You have to make sure that we match. That I'm good with what you say. I had a coach. I was coaching a person, And the CEO of his company said, no training. We don't waste days like that. That's ridiculous. You come here and you should be already ready to go. My job isn't to teach you and babysit you. See, not interested in culture. Remember, culture is interactions between management and employees, between employees and management and customers, and suppliers and vendors. What's our interaction like? What do we believe in? One pharmaceutical company, they found some people died from their product. So they took that product off the shelves of the city that it was found in. That was one mindset, just in the city. Another pharmaceutical company, same thing happened to them. They took the product off of the shelf of every store in the country to protect its customer. Mindsets. One was, who cares about the other cities? We're going to lose a lot of money. They were concerned with money, not the customer. The other culture was concerned with the customer, and yes, the money too, but they made up for it by changing the way the bottle of vitamins, you couldn't open it. It was sealed. If it was unsealed, they told them not to buy it. So they way back when this happened, it's a true story, the one company decided to invent a way that you would know, and we see them in most bottles today. They're sealed. You have to tear it open. If it's open, they say, don't buy it. Somebody put something in it. So culture is important.
Yeah.
The ability to lead is important. It helps people grow. And you hold people accountable. We want you to lead when it's appropriate. Don't sit back and let other people do it. You're responsible too. See the need, take the lead.
Take the lead. Yeah.
See it?
Thank you, Jim. So it was very in detail discussion. I had a lot of questions on my head, but I'm sure I need to get you for another few more, like field discussions in the future. So as you told, you have learned throughout the life this leadership, management, and all those things. We can't grab all the things in this 1 hour, like 30-40 minutes discussion. So today's discussion was super awesome, very insightful. Even I learned a lot. As you told, like patience, taking the leadership, having followers, getting the feedback, both positive and negative criticisms. Everything is there. So if we are a good leader, we need to have that patience and have to have that intelligence, emotional and social intelligence in going forward. And to become a good leader, we need to improve them, learn from leaders. And yeah. So thank you very much for joining me for the discussion today. Accepting my invitation, it was an honor for me to get a person like you who is well experienced with handling diverse environments, different age levels. I know from university students too, you may be having clients to that different age gaps, different cultures, you have the exposure. So with your experience, the way today's discussion was awesome. Enjoy your day and thank you.
And have a good sleep. You're now sleeping time. I'm waking time.
You're waking time now, yeah.
Yeah. So you're welcome, and it was a pleasure for me too. I like to talk about this topic because it's been my focus for more years than you've been on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, and we'll meet again, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Jim.
Welcome.
Bye.
Thank you too.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Have a nice day. Bye.
You too. You have a nice evening.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Get ready to unlock the secrets of impactful leadership in this dynamic world of tech, along with these kind of global leaderships in my future discussions as well. If you have any suggestions or comments on today's video, do comment and make sure to hit the bell icon and subscribe to my YouTube channel for thoughtful discussions like this. Thank you. Bye bye.